Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. Once upon a time, there was a poor boy named Aladdin. One day, a suspicious merchant came up to Aladdin on the street. He said, "Can you help me find a magic lamp? I'll make you rich if you do so." Aladdin agreed to go, but he did not know that the merchant was an evil wizard. Once they arrived in front of a cave, the wizard chanted a spell. The cave door opened, and Aladdin slid down the steep slope. In the cave were gold, silver, and all kinds of treasures. Among those was a magic lamp glowing in the dark. Aladdin grabbed it and tried to get out of the cave.
Let me out!
"Give me the lamp first."
No, not until you get me out.
The angry wizard closed the cave door and left. Aladdin rubbed the dusty lamp in sadness. At that moment, Genie popped out. "Master, I am here to grant 3 wishes of yours. Make your first wish."
Take me home.
"At your command, Master." Right after this, a magic carpet flew in and carried him back home. Back home, Aladdin rubbed the magic lamp again. "Master, what do you want this time?"
I want a fancy palace filled with riches.
"At your command, Master." Now, Aladdin was the richest man in the city. He got married with the princess. The evil wizard, who heard all of this, was deeply angered. He went to the princess, acting like an old merchant. He exchanged the magical lamp with a regular one. The evil wizard rubbed the lamp and made a wish. "Give me Aladdin's palace and the princess." "At your command, Master." Aladdin, hearing this news, sneaked into the evil wizard's palace while he was asleep. He stole the lamp and rubbed it. "Yes, my master. What is your last wish?"
Take that evil wizard far away.
"At your command, Master." The evil wizard was never to be found again. Aladdin rescued the princess and lived happily ever after in the palace.
Fairy tale. Jack and the Beanstalk. A long, long time ago, a boy named Jack lived with his mother. They were very poor, so Jack's mother told Jack to sell their only cow. On the way to the market, Jack met a mysterious old man. He showed Jack magic beans. Jack traded his cow for the beans and came back home. Jack's mother got angry. She threw the beans out the window. The next morning, Jack saw a huge green pillar going up into the sky. It was a beanstalk.
Wow, they were real magic beans.
Jack climbed up the beanstalk. Above the clouds, there was a giant in a big castle.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell a human boy.
After hiding, Jack stole the giant's gold coins. He went up again. Jack stole a chicken that laid golden eggs. He went up one more time. This time, Jack took a magic harp. At that moment, the harp started playing and the giant woke up. He ran after Jack, shouting,
Get him!
Jack quickly climbed back down the beanstalk. He chopped down the beanstalk with an axe. The giant fell to the ground and died. From then on, Jack never went back to the castle again.
Fairy tale.
The Little Mermaid. There once lived a king of the Sea Kingdom. He had 6 daughters, all beautiful mermaids. Princess Ariel, the youngest daughter, was very curious. When Ariel was 15 years old, she went up to the surface of the water. She saw a handsome young prince standing on the deck of a ship. She fell in love with him. One stormy night, the young prince fell off the ship. Ariel saved his life. But he didn't know that. Back home, Ariel missed him a lot. But there was no way for a mermaid to love a human. She went to the witch and begged for help. The witch gave Ariel human legs, but Ariel had to give up her voice. Moreover, Ariel would become bubbles if the prince married another woman. She came back up on land as a beautiful human girl. She was found by the prince and invited to the palace. But the prince was going to marry the princess of a neighboring country. Ariel was very sad, but couldn't say anything. The night before the wedding, Ariel's mermaid sisters appeared. They gave her a knife, telling her to kill the prince. Ariel went into the prince's room with the knife, but she couldn't kill him. She turned into bubbles. This was the sad love story of a mermaid who loved a prince.
Fairy tale.
Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a pretty girl named Cinderella. When she was young, her mother died. Her father remarried a pretty but bad woman. She brought 2 of her daughters into the family. Her stepmother and stepsisters treated Cinderella like a maid. Cinderella had to do all the housework. She only wore dirty clothes. One day, the prince's birthday invitation came. A ball was to be held in the castle. The stepmother and stepsisters dressed up and went to the ball. Left alone at home, Cinderella cried. Suddenly, her fairy godmother appeared. She turned a pumpkin into a carriage, rats into horses, and a lizard into a driver. She also dressed Cinderella in a beautiful dress. Lastly, she gave her glass slippers. The fairy godmother told her to come back before 12 o'clock midnight. Cinderella went to the ball and danced with the prince. It was 12 o'clock midnight. Cinderella hurried down the stairs as one of her glass slippers fell off her foot. The prince found it, and his men searched from door to door for the owner of the glass slipper. Finally, it fit one girl. She was Cinderella. Cinderella and the prince got married and lived happily ever after. Fairy tale.
A Dog of Flanders.
Far away in a small village, a boy named Nello lived with his grandfather. Nello's grandfather worked hard as a milkman. They were poor but loved each other. One day, Nello and his grandfather found an abandoned dog. They took good care of it. Nello called it Patrash. Nello also had a kind girlfriend, Alois. Yet, Alois's father hated Nello, so he told Alois not to play with him. Nello's grandfather became ill and was unable to work. Nello had to work as a milkman instead of his grandfather. It was hard, but he did his best. Nello was very good at drawing and always loved it. He dreamed of becoming a great painter like Rubens someday. He tried to win a prize at a local art exhibition, but he failed. His grandfather finally passed away. Nello was kicked out of his house. He couldn't even take care of Patrash anymore. So Nello left Patrash to Alois, but Patrash fled Alois's house and ran back to Nello. Nello was happy to see Patrash, but they were so cold and hungry. Eventually, they fell to their death in front of a great painting by Rubens. Fairy tale.
The Little Match Girl. It was a snowy winter night. A poor little girl was walking around the street selling matches.
She was dressed in shabby clothes and had no shoes on.
Matches. Please buy my matches.
She was very cold and hungry, but no one bought a single match. She approached a window where warm light was coming out. Inside there was a beautiful Christmas tree, a fireplace, a table full of delicious food, and the happy laughter of families sitting around. The girl was very sad. Tired of being cold and hungry, the girl took out a pack of matches and lit it. At that moment, she saw a fireplace with warm flames coming out. But soon, the match light went out, and the fireplace went away. The girl lit a second match. Delicious food appeared in another bright light. Cake, meat, soup. The girl stretched her hand toward the plate. But the match light went out again, and the girl was back in the dark. The girl sighed and lit a third match. This time, the girl's grandmother appeared.
Oh, Grandma, I've missed you so much. Take me with you.
Grandma nodded with a bright smile. The next morning, people found the girl dead on a street corner. They felt sorry for her, but they didn't notice a faint smile around her mouth.
Fairy tale. Puss in Boots. There was once a poor miller who had 3 sons. Before he died, he gave his mill to the eldest son, a donkey to the second, and a cat to the youngest.
After I eat my cat, I will eventually die of hunger.
The youngest son cried.
Master, please don't eat me. If you give me a pair of boots, I will make you happy and rich.
The cat said. The youngest son decided to believe the cat and gave him a pair of boots. The cat jumped into the boots and ran into the forest. He hunted rabbits and took them to the king.
Your Majesty, these are a present from the Marquis of Carabas,
said the cat. The king was very pleased. Later, the king and princess were about to pass by the riverside. The cat, who heard about this, said,
Master, go into the river and take a bath.
The son took his clothes off and went into the river. Just then, the king's coach was passing by.
Help! Help! My Lord Marquis of Carabas was robbed and has been left with no clothes.
The king gave nice suits to the young man and offered him a ride. The cat went on ahead and said to the farmers working in the field,
Hey, people, if anyone asks you whose field this is, say it belongs to Marquis of Carabas. If you do, I will kill the ogre for you."
The king asked the farmers whose field it was.
"It belongs to the Marquis of Carabas,"
they answered. At last, the cat came to the castle. It was ruled by the scary ogre. The cat asked the ogre,
"Can you change into a big animal?"
Ha ha ha! That's so easy.
said the ogre, and he changed into a big lion. The cat then said,
"But you can't turn into a small mouse."
The ogre changed into a mouse. At that moment, gulp! The cat ate up the mouse. Then the cat invited the king to the castle and said,
"This is the castle of the Marquis of Carabas."
Later, the Marquis of Carabas got married to the princess. The cat became the Knight of Carabas. They all lived happily ever after.